Hey gang, Kevin here, Life22, and we are here for a book review. I actually banged one out in between the third Thursday book club. I'm already 2 books behind, so I figured I'd bang out a couple quickies and get you guys. This is one I've been meaning to read anyways, just because it had come out like a month ago and I wanted to stay current on it. It is 12 Seconds in the Dark by John Mattingly. It was helped produced by DW Books, which is a Daily Wire new publishing company that they started, and I'm a big fan of the Daily Wire. And so when this book came across my purview, I downloaded it and I listened to it like 20 minutes the other day, and then a good portion of it was yesterday, and the tail end of it was today. And it was a really good book. It was a brief book. It was 4 hours and 17 minutes. Sergeant Mattingly goes through his entire, kind of gives you a backstory on himself, his career, leading up to the Breonna Taylor murders, or, the shooting, which it was, he kind of gives you the inside take on what it was to be a police officer, what it is to, you're called on a drug warrant with this girl's name, and then you're on a drug warrant for this girl's apartment, and you don't even make it inside, and they start firing at you from the hallway, and you return fire, but then you know what I mean? Like, they talk about everything and the entire situation of the book, which I thought was pretty cool. And then they turn around and the media narrative. It's like the Rittenhouse trial, like there's the media narrative on what happened to you, and you know what I mean, like the death threats his family got. They ended up selling. They bought a house. They loved it, and they were closing on the house during the whole time this thing had been going on. And when it started to backlash almost a year later, they ended up having to sell that house like 6 months after owning it. They sold to a couple, and somebody leaked the address where they lived, and it wasn't their address anymore. They sold it, and this little, this couple from India ended up moving within less than a year because of all the harassment they got on the property, from people protesting their house, and it's like he doesn't even live there. So it was just kind of you get the inside scoop on all of it, and the false media narrative. Well, it was a no-knock warrant. Like, no, he goes into detail. He's got, he's got the evidence collaboration, the other officers that were on the scene, the district attorney, all the notes, everything that's in the files, and the media just says nope, no knock warrant, and then the other media companies can say, well, they said no knock warrant, and they're a media company, and media companies, whatever they say becomes the truth. They could just if they say it, it's automatically the truth, even if it's not the truth. It's like the modern day media is ridiculous, because it's almost like the movie Dogma, where they kind of point out that God is infallible, right? So why the media is infallible. Once they say something, it becomes the rule, and you can't prove them wrong, because if they say it, it trumps the actual truth. And that's how it is, right? We said it, and we're right. We're always right, and I mean, it's the mentality of children, right? Like they're constant power struggle against the world and trying to dominate, and we win. You know what game this is? I win. I like playing I win because I win, right? That's no fun. But anyways, this was a really good book. I mean, it was a tearjerker at the beginning. He talks about well, I'll let you read it, but I mean, he talks about the first 4 minutes of the book. He talks about having to go on different calls where there's you get called on domestics and homicides and stuff like that, and tragic kid gets his older brother gets led into the. So I think they start the book out in the first 4 minutes. And I mentioned this on Twitter. I was trying to fight back tears in the first 4 minutes of listening to this book. He enters an apartment with his partner, and he's got a there's I guess there was a mom who let her 22-year-old son back in. She gave him one last chance, and he came in with his buddies, and they left a handgun loaded on a dresser, and his 5-year-old little sister. That's the reason mom kicked him out in the first place, because she had 2 other kids that she had to take care of. So to help her one son, she couldn't protect her daughter, because the daughter, 5, was reaching for the pistol, and she got it, and the 7-year-old brother came and tried to get it out of her hands, and in his struggle to pull it out of her hands, the gun went off, and he blew his little sister's brains out. And it just even hearing that in a book, and it's like, like just that's horrifying. And he talked about, like, it wasn't the little girl's fault. The mom was trying to help the one son out, and to protect, to help her son, she couldn't protect her daughter like that. And that little 7-year-old has to live the rest of his life knowing that he unintentionally killed his sister. That's deep, and that is tough, and that is the human struggle. And it sucks that it happens, and you hope that it never happens, but horrible shit happens in this world all the time. And he opens the book up with that, and it's like, wow, because you don't realize what cops have to deal with. And his buddy's trying to, like, resuscitate this little girl, and, like, half her brain matter's on the wall. Like, you're not going to resuscitate her, but you know what I mean, that fleeting, how can I help, how can I make things better, how can I make this right, and you're trying to resuscitate a dead child. Like, it's just, it's tough. But this awesome book, I highly recommend this book. It's really good. 4 hours and 17 minutes well spent listening to, just to get the real take on what happened during the Breonna Taylor shooting. But thanks, guys, and we'll see you guys soon. I might be reviewing a school board meeting tonight from 2 weeks ago. So, all right, gang, we'll catch you here soon.